Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible,
Oh, yeah.
those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Fair.
And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my, you pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Simple question.
Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator and now you're throwing out theology and I am a Christian and I am allowed to weigh in on this.
Fair.
We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
But just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is
there.
silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
that's what God was talking about in
Yes.
Genesis.
I do, but
That country's existed since when?
for thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
Solutionaries, that was yet again Tucker Carlson chopping up Ted Cruz. Politicians will do this often. They'll lean on his moral support for their political aspirations. When your religion becomes your politic, it's no longer the most high. I got that from Curtis Schoon. He posted that. I thought it was an excellent quote, and I'm going to use it here. This is what politicians will do. They'll say, I'm Christian. The Bible says do this. These are the same people that say they're against, as it relates to Republicans. Most, not all, but most Republicans are in opposition to abortion. But in the Bible, God gave commandments to folks to kill their sons. So they'll use conveniently the parts of the Bible that align with what their narrative or their financial or their lobbyists' benefits are. You got to be very careful of that. It's almost like your theology, your faith, your value system being weaponized back against you. And not even almost, that's what it is. So politicians will do this a lot of times, and you kind of just got to not let them squeam out of there. Tucker did a very good job here of not letting him squeam out by asking him, when was this actually, you mean this Bible meant this government of Israel that is currently in position? Yeah, that's what it means. Why does it mean that? When did it mean that? It actually could kind of mean the people of Israel, the tribes that separated, the people that are keeping the laws and the commandments, right? However, to Ted's point, he says that's what he believes. And that's a convenient way to hide behind a scapegoat. That's the same as people that say, oh, America's a white Christian nation, right? Because they kind of got like a bigotry and a bias. And this does not mean that I'm saying that I'm in support of open borders and everybody coming and taking advantage of the welfare state. It's not what I mean. Got to throw that out there because some of y'all going to be goofballs and act like this is what I'm trying to say. Not what I'm trying to say. But those people will say, oh, yeah, Jesus, it was a white Christian nation, this, that, and the third. They do false patriotism to hide their bigotry. When you peel back the layers of the onion and start asking them questions, right? And if you're trained in media, or if you experience a lot of media, which I have, you see it all the time. They use phantom attributes. They do things like this. They tie it. If you tie it to a religion, it almost becomes like if you question me, you're questioning God. And I'm not questioning God. I'm not questioning the Bible. I'm questioning your interpretation of this shit, because as a politician, I see that you're utilizing that to get your warmongering agenda off. And they do this all of the time. In this interview right here, again, if you haven't watched it, go watch it in full. The entire interview, you see Ted Cruz fumbling and stumbling when asked specific questions by a journalist that he has a relationship with, known him for years. We see him stumble and fumble over these questions because it's not going with the narrative. When politicians try to use these little clickbait, sound bite, everybody's going to clap like they talking to a pulpit or they on a pulpit. When they are met with actual questions, you can see the absurdity in it. In essence, if you're saying, the Bible commanded me to defend Israel by funding a war, sending young people to die from America, because we all know that's the direction they're trying to get everybody to, submit to or agree with. The Bible has commanded me to go and support this nation that was built 70 years ago, even though the Bible is however long. When you say that way, that clearly and plainly, you see how goofy it is. And a lot of these politicians are goofy, and because you like them, or because you voted for them, or because they can scare you back into the religion or theology of it, you don't use your brain and do critical thought and critique and say, nah, that's not right. I am not okay with going to war or sending more troops, because right now planes are being sent over there. Americans fly B-52 bombers. I'm not mad that Israel buys a lot of weaponry from the United States. Cool, free market enterprise. However, around here you got to put your own work in. They won't say it this way. Since we've been lobbied by AIPAC and whatever, we have an interest to show that we're in support of Israel. Not Israel bombed Iran for whatever reason. It's not my moral judgment on what their reasons are. It's not my country. I don't run it. I don't live there. Instead of just saying they bombed them with the stuff that we gave them and the $3 billion in weapons packaging and all of that, and I have a interest because I've taken money from lobbyists to align with this, they wrap it up in the cloth of the religion. And if you don't ask the right questions, they're going to pull a wool over your eyes. And long before you know it, there will be ground troops on the ground again. We're seeing steak and lobster dinners for the troops. A lot of people saying that's a going to war meal, right? And I'm laughing because the contradiction, I'm not laughing about war, okay? So we see this, and when you start putting two and two together, you're going to get four. If a motherfucker want to tell you it's 18, cool, bro, I hear you, but it's not fucking 18. It's 4. 1 and 1 is 2. At best, depending on how we get to the context of it, at best, it's 11. We ask the questions to me, do you mean add it, 1 plus 1, get you 2? Or you mean 1 next to 1, making 11? Those are the questions that they try to avoid, but they wrap it in religious, almost like this crazy zealotry to justify war in the name of God. And then on the same hand, they say nobody can know the heart of God because God moves in mysterious ways. It's just back-to-back contradictions. And this entire interview was Tucker holding his feet to the fire, keeping him on task about this, because Tucker's obviously well-versed in this Middle East shit. What does this have to do with you? Evaluate that same thought process when you're watching these things across the media. Most effective devil in America. And that does not just mean CNN, Fox, MSNBC. That means social media too. Because pundits have big platforms and repeat things like this. I'm a Christian conservative. America's a white nation. Almost at the same time asking for, not saying everybody, asking for racism, ignoring the founding principles of America, ignoring what William Penn was about when and the Quakers down there in Pennsylvania and what Philadelphia was created for, ignoring that, but you got to be sharp enough to recognize where it comes from, especially on social media. Like Elon said, we are the media now, and all of the media is not good. Now, all of it's not bad, but all of it's not good either. That's the reason why critical thinking is so important. It's a part of the reason why we have a private solutionary group, Telegram group, of people just tossing ideas around, along with the other benefits that you get as a member in the Solutionary 9 membership, okay? Firearms classes, because we're still talking about war. We're talking about prepping. We're talking about being prepared. This could potentially go nuclear, even though I don't think that Iran has the ability to make nukes. I think that's cap. But let's just say I'm wrong. You still need to be prepared. Understanding imminent threat, defending your home, preparedness, civics, workout routines, meal plans, all of these things explained as a member. Lifetime membership. Give us 99 days. We'll make you smarter. We'll get you in better shape. We'll make you a better shooter. We'll give you your $99 back. But regardless of wherever you get that information from to develop yourself, being able to defend your family and potentially your community and defend that American ideal of limited government, regardless of where you get it from, get it. From us, you get it. You don't get better. We give you the money back, but you still have access to an entire community of people later on. This is the reason why free thinking, y'all notice they don't say that phrase anymore? Because the people that are free thinking challenge the narratives from regardless of what political side of the aisle it is. And you as a real American need to be on top of that. Hit the link below, join the group. My name is Maj Toure, the founder of Solutionary University. Hope to see you in the group soon. Comment, like, share, and also subscribe so you can get more of this content. Be safe, be solutionary.